So welcome back to your Top 5 Tuesday. Today let's talk about 5 things that are probably acceptable to be able to finance, to be able to homestead.
So the first thing that it's okay to finance is probably going to be the homestead. I know everybody wants to save up and pay cash, and if you can do that, that's awesome. But for most of us, that's really not going to be an issue. I mean, this is really our third place. We financed the first 2. This one was a bit of an inheritance. We did have to go ahead and buy the other 80 acres, and we did finance that through my parents, which was cool because it was a low interest rate. But the big thing is, most of us don't have the money to actually start homesteading without a mortgage. The nice thing is, most of the loans are not that high on interest rate right now. So if you're considering doing it and you have decent credit, I would really get on the ball with it.
Item 2, once you have the homestead, is going to be some kind of building or barn package. Now there's different variations of this. You can do a barn package where you don't have to do anything. You pick out the design you want, you have a contractor that basically handles everything. They show up, they put it up, and at the end of it, your barn is done and ready to move in. There are other ways to do it, like we have done it, where we have designed it all or had a professional engineer designed it up based on snow load. We knew exactly kind of the dimensions, and then we picked how to finish the inside.
And in that case, we didn't go get a standard loan for it. If you've got a home improvement store around you, particularly Home Depot or Lowe's, we use the heck out of our Home Depot card. They do different promotions throughout the year based on how much you spend, so you can get 6, 12, 18, and 24 months, same as cash, depending on what your credit rating is. And guess what? We built 2 barns on a 24-month, no interest, same as cash, and had it all paid off in 24 months. Maybe it's not for everybody, but with the fact that most of their 6-month windows start at like $299, it means that you can go in and spend $1,000 on a fence project that desperately needs to be done, and you can spread it out over 6 months.
Okay, so item number 3 is going to be a tractor. Now this is something we, probably the first, I guess being the third place, we've been doing this almost 15 years, probably the first 12 or 13 years, we didn't have a tractor. We did everything manual. And I'll tell you, having a tractor that is capable of doing everything we want is something, it's a life changer. It is a complete farm homesteading life changer.
And it does depend on how big your farm is. If you've got 3, 4, 5 acres, a tractor may not be worth the expense for you. Our places before were 12 and 10 acres. We got by without it, with just pickup trucks and wheelbarrows, and we made it work. But when we moved here, and the first part of the place is 20 acres, and then we've got another 80 acres for a total of 120, there's just a lot of stuff that tractor really speeds up. The other part, especially if you're older homesteaders, I mean, I won't say we're terribly old, but by 40, we're starting to wear out a little bit, and he's in his early 40s, and the tractor takes a lot of the work out. Now, if you can pay cash and get an older tractor that works great, hey, more power to you. Where we're in a very large farming community. Tractors tend to be very, very large here, far bigger than we needed. And a tractor, if properly maintained, will last forever. So we went ahead and took the plunge to go ahead and get a brand new tractor. We got a very low interest rate. The key to this, if you're going to finance a tractor, is shortest amount of terms. Yes, that makes the biggest payment, but the shorter amount of terms you go, the lower your APR tends to be.
So item 4 on the list of things that are probably acceptable to finance to homestead is going to be other big tools. Now, a tractor was obviously one. We kept that separate. This one might be like just a quad, which we use a lot. Maybe a separate trailer, which we also did. It could be just a big tooling package. Maybe you need to do some renovations. You need to build your barns, and you need a whole plethora of tools like circular saws, screw guns, impact drivers, all that. Maybe you buy a big package, including them all, and get a big deal on it.
And there again, that's another one of those things where, depending on what you're buying and where you're buying it from, I know on our quad we got 0% for 60 months. Again, we have really pretty stellar credit. On the trailer, we ended up buying the trailer outright, but I think we got offered like 2.9% or something over 3 or 4 years. We could swing it, so we just paid cash, so we didn't have the interest. If you're looking at big tool purchases, that sort of thing, again, Home Depot and Lowe's, great places to look. We've used both for years. We renovated basically our entire house in Jackson, Mississippi through Lowe's. Granted, I worked there at the time and got some discounts, but really everything we bought, from bathroom cabinets to tubs to all of it, the key is just to budget accordingly and make sure that you're paying it off within your same as cash windows.
And don't exclude Amazon, Harbor Freight, Sears. I mean, all of them have really good tools that probably have promotions and sales. And if you strategically plan out what you need and when, you can probably pick some stuff up on some great deals along throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the last thing on our list is probably going to be something we are going to consider tools, and that is going to be a truck, an SUV, or something that is four-wheel drive. For us, we needed at least 2 4-wheel drives, one for each of us during the winter, because she shows rabbits during winter months. And the years prior to me having a 4-wheel drive, it meant I was stuck at home because I couldn't get out.
And this does not mean in any way that we endorse you going down to the lot and spending $42,000 on a brand new truck. That's not what we're saying at all. What we're saying is when you get into a situation where you really need something, sometimes being able to save at $100 a month just isn't going to cut it. Again, for the most part, we were able to pay cash on our trucks. A lot of people aren't. So don't be afraid to go in and finance it. But if you're going to finance it, be smart about it. Shop around. Don't go for the new truck. The trucks right off the lot depreciate so much, it's not worth the money, even with a really low interest rate. You're far better off going into a bank or a credit union, getting a loan on a used truck, and buying something off of Craigslist or something like that. As long as you've got somebody that can look at it that's got some mechanical aptitude, so you don't buy a complete lemon. Used car lots are a good place to look. Sometimes you just, as much as we all want to pay cash for everything, sometimes you need a tool and you need it right now. And if you need a truck or an SUV or a 4-wheel drive or something right now, don't be afraid to go and finance it, but do be smart about it.
Right. Remember when homesteading, function over fashion. Don't worry if it's a little scratched and dinged up. Make sure it's going to do everything and be totally capable of everything you need. Hauling mulch, hauling equipment, whatever that is, make sure it's a tool and not
a fashion accessory.
A fashion accessory. Don't get the $50,000 Suburban. Get the $5,000 Suburban that will do everything you need, even if it's not exactly pretty. All right, so there are 5 things we think that are probably acceptable to be able to finance in homesteading terms. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you think the 5 are spot on, or would you replace 1 or 2 of them with something you've done? We'd love to know. Leave it down in the comments.
And when you're doing that, please be kind. Understand that not everybody has an unlimited amount of money, and not everybody can pay cash. I know a lot of the people that watch us are big homesteaders and believe cash is king. We do too. But sometimes that doesn't work, and you gotta accept that this is a lifestyle that draws a lot of different people. And yeah, if somebody needs to finance, hey, be kind. It's not your place to make a judgment.
All right, guys, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We're honored to have you join us here at Sprague Homestead. And
happy homesteading.
There it is. We'll see you next time.